Hey everyone, you know what it is. It's your boy Jack from WhatCulture.com, and I'm here with all the ups and all the downs from SmackDown Live. I don't know what that was. We've had to re-record this intro, so I'm actually doing this after I've shot the rest of the video, so I'm a little bit all, as you can tell. But I hope you enjoy all the ups and all the downs from SmackDown Live. Let's get into it. Let's go. First up, who should open the show but the new champion John Cena, fresh from victory at the Royal Rumble. He is now a 16-time world champion. He's held 16 world titles, and he's normally really good when he's won a belt. Cena's often been criticised for being a bit, oh shucks, never mind when he loses a belt. But throughout his career, whenever he's won a title, Cena often, values it, prides himself for having it. He did it with the US title as well. Learned from that, Roman Reigns. Cena came down to the ring. He was wasting no time. He was making his way downtown, walking fast. Faces were passing. He got into the ring. He started cutting a promo where he apologised to AJ Styles, which was a little bit weird, a little bit patronising towards someone as dangerous as AJ. But I'll let that slide because it was generally a good promo. Before it got too long, too rambling, he was cut off by the Wyatts. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, at least. They came down to the ring and they were about to attack. And then the lights went down. When they came back up, Luke Harper was there next to John Cena, and it looked for a minute like he was going to get beaten down by all three members of the Wyatt family. But then Luke Harper officially turned face. He turned on the Wyatt. Cena was so excited. He was like, yay, yippee, wasn't he? He was loving it. He was doing his little jumps that he does when he gets about that much clearance off the ground because he's like a big muscly crab. God, but it was good. It was good. It was good. It gets an up. It gets the first up of the video. 1-0 to the ups. Now it's time to talk about that match itself. It was a really good tag match, but the ending was a shock. I was shocked when I watched it. Well, I wasn't. I'd already seen spoilers on Twitter, but I'm not going to complain about that. That's a point as well. If you're one of those people who complain about people tweeting spoilers during a wrestling event, maybe don't go on f***ing Twitter. Anyway, that's completely besides the point. I'm very sorry. Yes, Randy Orton got a clean pinfall over John Cena. That was quite shocking. It kind of feeds into Cena's whole, am I a has-been? Am I still relevant? Do you think time will pass me by? All that sort of stuff. And it makes Randy Orton look really strong as well, having just won the Rumble. It's a bold booking move, but I think it's a good one as well, ultimately. So I'm going to give it an up as well. 2-0 to the ups. Next up, we had the match that we were all waiting for all week, all year. We knew it was going to be a match of the year contender, and it was. Carmella versus Delilah Dawson. Carmella won in about a minute or two after Ellsworth, helped her. And I just don't like how Ellsworth's helping her beat, jobbers, for lack of a better word. Doesn't really make Carmella look strong or particularly, devious, really. It just makes them both look very petty and stupid. I'm not buying them as heels. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. It gets it down. Next up, we had Dolph Ziggler versus Kalisto. Lucha. It was a very quick, very fast-paced match. They all did their usual stuff. Ziggler went for the super kick a bunch of times. Kalisto hit the top rope a bunch of times and was like, if I could fall into the sky, would I hit you with a move? That was his thought process, I guess. In the end, Ziggler won and then tried to take off Kalisto's mask, and it was a bit... Everyone tries to take off Kalisto's mask, and then, Kalisto looked to the entrance ramp and he was like, I need you and I miss you. And then Apollo Crews ran out and chased off Dolph Ziggler. And you know what? I'm going to give this a down because WWE often do this thing during mid-card feuds where they just do the same thing every week. Back in the Attitude Era, if they were building a mid-card feud, there'd be slightly different things every week. It would feature the same superstars, but the things would be different, you know what I mean? This time, it's kind of like Carmella and Ellsworth cost a jobber every week. Ziggler's, horrible to Apollo Crews and Kalisto every week, and then they save each other. It's the same thing every week. And just because it's SmackDown doesn't mean it's exempt from criticism. So I am going to give it a down, and I'm sorry. Aww. Next up, a lovely little match between... That's really sexist because it's a women's match.
Lovely little match.
It's lovely. They're doing really well. No, of course, I'm not like that when it comes to women's wrestling. It was a great match. That's much better between Naomi. It's all gone to shit. No, Naomi, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss. And the faces won. Naomi got the pinfall over the champion. Champions losing left, right, and centre on this week's SmackDown. This seems to be setting up a feud between Naomi and Alexa, which I'm fine about. Naomi's actually looking pretty good in this match. She was doing some complicated long sequences. She had a great hot tag and all that sort of stuff. Mickie James and Becky Lynch, if they have a singles match, I'm very excited for. That could be a technical masterclass. yeah, I've got no complaints here. Again, a bold booking decision to have the champion lose, but I'm not too bothered about that. I'm going to give it an up. Now on to possibly the most infuriating part of the show, because I love American Alpha. They're really, really good, and they've just kind of been forgotten. The tag division's kind of been forgotten about ever since they won the titles. There was no SmackDown tag team match on the Royal Rumble, on the pre-show even, as well as the main card. And this time there was no actual match on SmackDown either. American Alpha came out and said, look, we've got no challengers, what the f***'s going on? And then they said, no, you know what, we're going to do an open challenge. And then everyone came out, apart from the Revival. Please call up the Revival at some point, please, oh my god. But yes, then every other tag team in the blue brand locker room came out, and they all had a massive brawl that went on for so long. Like so long. There was an advert break in the middle of it. It went on for so long. You could just see odd little figures doing. You could see Rhino making his way through the crowds, and then you could just, people started getting thrown over the top rope. Eventually, American Alpha, Heath Slater and Rhino were the remaining 4 men in the ring. Maybe that leads to a match between those guys. Maybe someone else. I personally want a tag title shot for the Fashion Police because I find them hilarious. But no, this segment gets an absolute down. I found it very frustrating. I hope next week we at least get some substance to the tag team division again. And relax. Now we get to the main event, and no beating about the bush here. I'm going to give it an up. It was a good match between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. They worked really well. And again, yet again, for the third time on the show, a champion took a pinfall. Dean Ambrose was pinned by AJ Styles. He is, of course, currently the Intercontinental Champion. And yeah, it's another bold move on SmackDown. The champs were losing left, right, and centre. The Miz and Baron Corbin were on commentary, and they bickered quite a lot, and they had some hashtag banter. Yeah. Banter. Then after the match, Corbin ran in, laid out Ambrose, laid out Miz. Corbin stands tall. He looks to be the next big guy getting a push on the SmackDown roster. But you know, with AJ Styles and John Cena as the 2 champions, he's probably going to have to walk 1,000 miles to get a title shot. 1,000 miles. It's an up. So yeah, I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. Thank you very much for watching SmackDown Ups and Downs, and the ups have just edged out the downs, but it was a slightly weaker week for SmackDown, I think. The big matches were good, but the filler was pretty garbage, to be honest. Let's hope they can get back on track next week with a better showing. But for now, I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. You can follow me at Jack the Jobber, not Jack_the Jobber anymore, at Jack the Jobber. You can follow Phil at Chambers Philip. Thank you, Phil, for editing. Thank you, sir. Say something.
You're welcome.
That's all right, mate. And we'll see you soon.